So I got sent a very funny situation regarding voice actors that I completely missed happening the other day. So thank you very much for sending me this situation. That, of course, being to the person that sent this to me. But anyways, so this involves the creator of Ben Drowned. If you're familiar with Ben Drowned, I'm actually not until today looking into it, but it seems like something I'm definitely gonna look into more because it's like a creepypasta web serial thing, and I think there's also like videos on it. It sounds pretty cool, pretty interesting, and like I said, I will definitely look into this more when I get a chance. But enough about me. We need to talk about the creator of Ben Drowned, that being Alexander Hall, because it looks like certain English voice actors, you know the type, are upset with Alex Hall based on his most recent casting call that he posted over on Twitter. So let's take a look. Okay, so we're over here on Twitter now, and we can see the tweet from Alexander Hall that reads, casting call, looking for 3 to 4 voice actors to play townspeople in an upcoming episode of a new series. 4 to 5 lines per role, remote clean audio, $15 USD per role, deadline April 15th, audition plus details at that form. Now, unfortunately, the form is no longer available, so I can't see everything that was on there for more details, but we can get a few more details by taking a look at what still remains right here, which reads at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for your interest. We're looking for up to 4 voice actors to bring to life brief roles as background NPCs. So, important details. Only 4 to 5 lines per role for background NPCs, and looking for 4 voice actors. Now, since this form is no longer available, I can presume that this has all been casted for. That takes us to a tweet from Pirate Nation with this screenshot where we can see the meltdown. And I know I'm blocking some of this, all like moving around and all that. So hopefully it works out. But we'll see. We'll see if it works out in a second. Guy who made Ben Drowned is working on a new series of YouTube videos. Puts out an open advert for anyone who wants to voice some of the background NPCs in it. Paying $15 for 4 to 5 generic NPC lines. Insane meltdown from voice actor Twitter. Demanding $100 an hour for saying lines like, "It sure is foggy today." Incredible rage in the replies. Okay, so now we'll take a look at some of these angry people. We're starting with the ones in the top left. Reads, $15 per roll, laughing emoji. $15? F off. Talk about cheap. Call your mom or your pals and offer $15. Alex Hall actually responds to that one and says, why not someone who's an aspiring VO to add to their portfolio? I know people that would volunteer to do it, but I thought since I'm in a position to offer something for a fun YouTube video, it would be a nice gesture. I guess I'm having a hard time understanding since it is a very, and we can't see the rest of it from that other person responding to Alex now. Some $15 job isn't going to be looked at by Hollywood for voice. What the frick? Sorry, I'm like already interrupt, but why is this guy bringing Hollywood up? It's like some indie like job on the internet where it was like, it's not going to be looked at by Hollywood for voiceover. No one was like asking for some Hollywood weirdos anyways. What the frick? Check it out. I actually found that tweet itself. And there wasn't much more to Alex's tweet. The only thing that got cut off, I think, was small role. So he's like, since it's a very small role. And once again, the other person's like, some $15 job isn't going to be looked at by Hollywood for voiceover. No offense, this is a contract job. Somebody needs 4 lines read, call your sister. $15 is an insult. I'm not sure if it's remote or not. You're not sure if it's remote. You think this dude is going to need to fly someone out to location for a $15 job for 4 to 5 lines for a background character? Yeah, these people are absolutely nuts. Like, just speechless. I don't even know what to say. This guy's like, I'm not sure if it's remote or not, but that wouldn't even cover the gas money to get there. No way this guy's serious, bro. Is this guy for real? Is this a troll or something? Like, I think this guy's for real, but like, that is just so insane. He thinks he needs to drive. Hey, I got to drive across the country for this role, man. Like, oh my gosh. There's also this response from Alex, and we can see more details. So this person's like, $15 an hour? How many hours are we talking? TF, lol. Alex says, oh, absolutely not. I was thinking it would take about 5 minutes. These are short throwaway lines for generic townspeople. I'm just looking for the right voice. Another response to the top reading. Are you freaking kidding me? $15? And once again, we got laughing emojis. Alex responds and says, this is my first time putting out a public casting call for one of these. It's a maximum of 5 quick lines for a small indie production. What would you say is fair? Ooh, let's see what people say. DM to explain? That's not suspicious at all. $100 minimum. $100 to like have like 5 minutes of reading. That's crazy. Let's see the responses to this. LMAO, you aren't that famous. That's a fair price. Show more. You're out of your mind. Your voice is not a precious resource that's worth gold, dude. Lol, you worth less than a McDonald's burger. That's a new one. Okay, so now we got this exchange. This person says, people can make $19 an hour at Five Guys. Might want to rethink that rate. But that doesn't even make sense. That argument doesn't even make sense, right? If this is going to be like a 5-minute job for $15, that greatly beats $19 for an hour. Alex says, for 5 lines for a background character, what would you say is fair? The other person responds and says, a lot of voiceover rates are based on a per word basis. For 4 to 5 lines, $15 is probably reasonable. But my comment wasn't made based on what is/isn't fair. It's about entry-level jobs being available at higher rates. $15 is low when you look at it from that perspective. What the frick? That made like no sense at all. Wait, so they they admit that the rate is actually pretty good. $15 for 4 to 5 lines is pretty good, they say. But then they go and like completely change the argument and make like a bad point. Like, I'm so confused. These people make no sense. The person who's like, oh, this wouldn't fly in Hollywood or whatever that person said, and it's like thinking you need to be like flown out for this. And then whatever this person's saying, like, these people all sound crazy to me. Like, I'm almost having a hard time even providing commentary on this stuff because I don't even really understand what these people are saying. It's just like Looney Tunes talk. Look at this one. Someone else says, and by the way, Sweeney Todd's pretty cool, so shameful that this person is using Sweeney Todd, but whatever. It will likely require more than 5 minutes, as there's always the possibility of having to do multiple takes. $15 is not worth anyone's time. That's $3 lower than the hourly rate in my state. Honestly, I personally think it should be at least $200. This person responds, saying $15 for a 5 minutes job means it's $180 an hour. Minimum wage in the USA is $7.25 per hour. But the other person never responds to that one. Okay, and then we got some more context with this response from Alex. I don't think I read this one yet. If I did, my bad. But he says, your motivation is that you are just an ordinary and generic background NPC. It's not really meant to be a super nuanced part, just a little fun throwaway to give flavor. There's plenty of upset people. Those were just some examples of some of them, of course, but there are plenty more that we haven't read. Now onto something wholesome, though, because people would see the backlash and then rally to Alexander Hall. For example, at the top, you can see Wendigoon, you may know him from YouTube, saying, I would be honored to do it for free. And Alexander Hall's just like wide-eyed. You got Madam Savvy, the one and only, saying, you're a legend. We'll check out the forum tomorrow with a heart. And lots of other comments, such as, hey, if you're still needing a VO for the role, I would be honored to help out, and future projects. The clowns in the comment section are a bunch of entitled theater kids. If I had the ability, for the record, let me just clarify something. I do like Sweeney Todd, but every theater kid I met at school gave me such a bad impression. They were always like so obnoxious. Anyways, back at that person, they said if they had the ability to make a clean audio recording that they would do the job for free. And a lot of people shared similar sentiment. Once they saw the backlash, they were like, yo, forget these weirdos. I'll just do the job for free. And so Alex Hall eventually made this statement that says, thank you to everyone who has submitted so far. We've received nearly 100 submissions between the forum and DMs. This is episode 1 of an indie YouTube series with a limited budget, and my first real step back into the creative world after half a decade. This new series is something new, but in many ways it's a spiritual successor to Ben Drowned, and I think the fans, especially those who love classic gaming, will really enjoy it. This lead role for this episode is being cast at her requested rate. That was decided months ago when I reached out to her privately. This casting call was meant to give fans and emerging VAs a chance to join in and still receive compensation, as a way for our team to build long-term connections with people excited to work on indie storytelling, even if they don't have a ton of professional VO experience. There's always tons of undiscovered talent out there. Even if you aren't selected this time, don't fret. This is a very particular kind of NPC tone I'm looking for, and it's a very small role. But I can already tell I'll be reaching out to at least over half a dozen people in the future based on the talent I've seen so far, and I've only reviewed about 20 submissions. I've had great collaborations with professional AAA voice talent over the years, and I'm committed to compensating fairly as much as the project allows. Indie productions always come with a few caveats and compromises, especially when you're dusting off the cobwebs and getting the ball rolling out again. But I truly appreciate the support over the last 48 hours, and I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who's approached this with enthusiasm and good faith. You guys are awesome. Also, submissions are still open until the 15th, but of course, as of recording, it is now April 16th, so I guess that explains why the thing was closed when I took a look at it. Presumably he's also filled the roles, of course, too, but yeah. You can also see people responding to Alex, welcoming him back and being excited to see his new work, excited to have him return. And I'll leave you guys with this. Something I was looking into over on Blue Sky. I don't have a Blue Sky account, but I do look over there for content every now and then because, let's be real, it's a great place for content. But anyways, the point is, I saw a number of voice actors over on Blue Sky complaining about the amount of money they make and how they deserve so much more money. And I think that would have been really fitting to like include in this video, but I would also be like burying the lead a little bit if I did. So it might be funny to include that some other time. It's also related to the Genshin VAs, so I'm trying to like figure out how I want to do all that stuff. But definitely kind of similar to what we saw here. Yeah, that'll be the end of this one. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed the coverage, please consider liking and or subscribing. All the best to Alex with his new project, and as always, thank you for tuning in. See you in the comments and in the next one.